We can cut it short anyway, can't we?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bee Craft Hangout. As always, my name is James Dearsley. I'm the marketing manager here at Bee Craft, and I'm joined as ever by Wendy, my ever so much more glamorous marketing guru.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Well, between us, we've got to try. We've got to try.
Absolutely.
But anyway, welcome to our Bee Craft Hangouts. I mean, look, why do we do this? We do this because we love it. We do it because we enjoy beekeeping, and ultimately that's what the magazine's all about. Which is, we're run by beekeepers for beekeepers, and that's what it's all about. So, Wendy, how are your bees? How are they getting on?
Okay, all ready for winter now. To be honest, all being treated. Obviously, all the honey's off, being extracted, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We're quite happy now with the condition of most of them. There's a couple of hives I'm a bit concerned about, but it may be a case. I'm not sure whether they're queenless or not. I don't know if you've had the same problem this year, but we've had hives that I thought were hopelessly queenless, and so I've ordered in new queens, and we've gone along to put the new queens in, only to find that we've ended up with a situation where there's a queen in there and she's laying, but they've been apparently queenless for about 4 or 5 weeks. So really, really odd. And it's not just happened on one hive. So we've ended up with, extra queens, and we've had to create some nukes to actually accommodate them. Queens, we've had to replace an awful lot of queens. But now they're, as I say, we're still treating at the moment. Got some more to do, and
just going back on the queen side. I mean, if I remember correctly, obviously we've had a month off. So for those of you who are here, obviously August is always our busy time. But the month before, so June and May, I seem to remember we had quite a few people just saying that they were having massive problems with their queens, but they couldn't quite work out what was going on. So it sounds as if you've had the same issue now.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody's had queen issues this year. I mean, they've had earlier on in the year it was a problem with drone laying queens, but certainly later on it's just been they seem to have gone off lay, and I don't understand why that should have happened. But to think that
we'll never be able to explain it, will we? That's the point, I suppose.
No, I mean, I think
we're not keeping bees; they're keeping us, I think.
Yeah. So it's been quite.
And how's the honey flow? Is the honey flow all right?
No, not great either. I think from speaking to other people as well, they've had a few good days when the bees have taken a fair bit in. Then they've had rotten days, and the bees have eaten it. That's not very good English. Had eaten it, and then so it was. The feeling that I get is that the honey crop this year is not very good. It's not a bumper year, nowhere near. I mean, I think it's even lower than last year. How about
positive,
you?
Is it? It's not great. No, actually, all right. Surprisingly good. I mean, funny you say that. I had a couple of hives which I had nothing. I had no colonies in, sort of away from everything else, and I just went literally the other day because I can see that these hives, which I knew were empty, from my window, and I got back from the holiday, and I looked out of my window and I saw I couldn't quite work out. It was actually a polyhive, and I looked at it and said, "That's not right. There's something not right with it." And it's quite a long way in the distance in the field, and I thought that looks to me like there's a hole in the super. I was thinking, oh, I don't believe it. I wonder if there's been a woodpecker. I mean, we're talking of a hole, and I could see it was sort of about that size.
Wow!
And I didn't know if it was if it was like a leaf that had stuck to the side of the colony. I couldn't quite see it because I knew it was an empty hive.
Right.
And so I'd gone down there 2 days ago, and lo and behold, so I had my two where my old colonies were there as a hive for distant situ, because there was no need to move them. And in the polyhive, there was indeed a hole that big in the top of the super. And I can only put that down to woodpecker. Nothing else would do that. It was a perfect cylinder. Perfect circle, sorry. And
So that's in the roof, you mean, James?
yeah, in the super side.
So in the side of it. Good grief. That's weird.
So I'll take a photo. I'll send it to you. I was quite astounded actually. And lo and behold, in the next hive, I'd obviously caught a colony.
Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah, I was just like, oh.
Right. Okay. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I was thinking, I might do this more often. I might just sort of leave my hives out and just get a catch. So it's quite fortuitous. And the lovely thing about it was there's a load of blackberries behind them. So I know for a fact there'll be a lovely sort of store of honey in there. And I just need to go and check and make sure they're okay before I sort of close it all up. But hopefully they'll be big enough. I mean, certainly the activity outside the front was fantastic.
Brilliant.
And hopefully through no fault of my own, there'll be a nice little colony in there.
Excellent.
But I mean, from what I'm seeing and hearing from most people is that actually it's not been too bad down here.
Right. Okay.
We've had some pretty good weather. I mean, I can only imagine, because obviously I haven't been out to the hives. I can only imagine that the activity the last couple of days would have seriously accelerated it. I mean, it's been 34 degrees down here in the south, so it's absolutely baking. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's absolutely roasting. I mean, it's 29-30 today, the hottest September day we've had since 1911. So no doubt they've obviously gone out and hopefully sort of collected that last little bit of nectar out there, if there is any indeed. Before obviously they're closing up for the winter themselves. So yeah, it's been I think it's as always. We talked about this before last year. Across the country, it's indifferent. I think everybody has got a different story. I mean, Rodri, if I remember correctly, Rodri a couple of months ago was just saying it's absolutely roaring in Wales. So who knows?
Yeah.
Time will tell. Anyway, I know what I wanted to discuss. And by the way, if anyone's out there, this isn't going to be a longish one today in terms of our hangouts. But if you've got a question, if you've got a comment, do let us know on the Bee Craft page where you're watching this. I think it's just below. There's an option to ask a question, and so do just please put a question or a comment in there, and we'll pick that up and we can bring it in and just sort of pass your comments on our discussion on the bee world. Yeah, welcome as ever.
James, I did have
the latest magazine.
Sorry.
Oh, go on.
I was going to say I have got a question that was actually on our Facebook page. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it.
Yes, I couldn't find that. I went to have a look at that again today. I couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know why. You get the email notifications and I don't get anything on that. I couldn't see it.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's from Richard Taylor. The problem he's having is that he buys an edition on the app from the Play Store on my phone. But I'm having to wait about 24 hours before I can read it on my tablet. I click on the link on the buy button on my tablet after it says I've bought it, but it won't let me download to read it. Any help here?
Okay, so this is Richard's bought the magazine. Does he say whether it's on Apple or Android or Kindle?
No, he does. Well, he's bought it from the Play Store on his phone, but he doesn't say if it's.
So that's Google Android then. That'll be Google Android. So what he's saying is he's bought the subscription, he's downloaded it, and he's then clicked buy. Is that right?
He's bought it on his phone, right. And then he's gone to his tablet. But he's having to wait about 24 hours before he can read it on his tablet. And he clicks on the link on the buy button on his tablet after it says I've bought it, but it won't let me download to read it.
Yeah. So what he's got to do is on his tablet. So what he's done is bought it on the phone. So he'll have logged in on his phone.
Right.
It sounds as if. So I'm just going to sneeze. Am I going to sneeze?
Gesundheit.
Don't you hate it when you think you're going to? Am I going to sneeze? No, I think I'm all right. Now, sorry.
Right,
you know when you think you're going to, yeah. Oh, so the one problem that he's got, which is what we find with a few people, is that because they bought it directly with Android or with Apple, there is an issue, which is, sadly, we don't have his password or username or anything else like that. where we can say you just got to log in. So we can't furnish him and say, well, this is what you've got to do. Generally, if you've bought it directly with either Apple or Android, it should automatically know your details because you've registered using your Google Play registration email, i.e. your Gmail.
Right.
So it should automatically pick it up that he's logged in. My only suggestion that I can say to him, and this is, it's regretful, but because he's used it directly with Google Play, is he's going to have to go to Google Play Help and just say, I've bought this app, I can get it on my phone, but I can't get it on my tablet. What's the problem? As in, it's not logging me in, I've got to buy the editions elsewhere.
Yeah, I think, I don't know that he's got to buy it again, but I think the problem is that it takes time to access it. It takes the 24 hours to access it on his tablet. But basically, it's going to have to go to Google and say, what's the problem, yeah?
I think yes, because that is not, I mean, the app is there, the app is stored. So as soon as the Bee Craft magazine is published onto the iTunes or onto Google Play, it is there. So there's nothing then that we can sort of get involved with, regretfully. I mean, we want to be able to, but we can't. We publish it as a PDF document, which is then downloaded for people on multiple devices to do. And I think you can have the app on two devices, so mobile and tablet, and then obviously you can use it from there. So, Richard, my only advice on that is to look at is just go to Google Help and just say, I've got this problem, what is it? Because I don't think it's a magazine issue at this point. And right. For anyone else who's going to watch this and moving forward, please just buy the magazine application through the Bee Craft website. It's cheaper, and it means that we're in control of your passwords and your username. So if there's any problem, we can just dive straight to that. So it's really straightforward. Yeah.
It's got to be cheaper to subscribe through our website, James, isn't it?
Yeah, we've tried to do it that way because we recognise that there were people who were subscribing directly, which is fine. I don't mind that. It just means that we're out of control and we can't help people. So we've got a lot of people who subscribe through the App Store, for example, have some problems, and we can't help them with it, and it's really frustrating for us. So we incentivise people to buy it through the website, whereas I think it's a couple of pounds cheaper a year. And equally, it's not on the auto rollover of subscription as well. So if they've tried it for a year, then we renew it manually for them. Right. It doesn't automatically renew, which is it would if it's on the Android or on the App Store. Right. Just so you're aware. Okay. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's an Apple and an Android issue.
Okay, I'll try and make sense of that and put it back on the Facebook page, because I did actually send him a message on Facebook to say that the Hangout was on tonight and I would ask you about it. So
yeah, it's fine.
I was hopeful that you might have logged in, but if not, then fine.
Well, this sort of stuff, sadly, there are issues with the app, and there's always logistical problems.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. Same eventually.
Sorry, everyone.
I think that's one probably that it would be useful for the editors to put into the magazine under the Q&A section that we have, because if we're not alone in that, if Richard's alone in that and we're getting the occasional one, it's nice to be able to say that A, it's a bit cheaper through us, and B, if there then is a problem, that we can deal with it. So,
I think that is on the FAQs on the website.
Right.
If I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken, which is, we try to list all the common problems that people might have, and one of the biggest ones is when they bought it directly, and it just means we sadly can't find that.
Okay.
But talking of that, you see the article on the chronic bee paralysis this month, by any chance?
I haven't actually seen the magazine yet this month.
Well, it's one to sort of well worth looking at, because I think it's giving a complete overview of what's going on with that situation, and following on. I don't know if you remember from was it about 18 months ago when we had that Jamie, I can't remember his surname.
Yeah.
From the University of Florida, talking about sort of chronic bee paralysis and other bee diseases. So it's something which is well worth sort of just having a good read through, because I think it's something which is often mistaken, often misunderstood, and something that I think a lot of beekeepers can learn a lot from. So it's just a thought. If you hadn't seen it, it's well worth having a read.
Okay,
Well,
I will do. Just couple of things that have come up just recently, that there is a new website, and it's basically linking farmers and beekeepers. I think it actually went out on Facebook, but I just thought I'd mention it.
Is this the Be Connected?
Yes, beeconnected.org.uk.
Yeah, so it's a BBKA initiative, isn't it? Which is,
Yes, it is.
just connecting. It's a very clever idea in my mind. I mean, connecting the sort of the beekeepers with people that need or want to know the bee community. So I think it's a very clever one.
Yeah. Well, it's also trying to get farmers involved so that the farmers will notify the beekeepers if they're doing any spraying.
Yes, absolutely. So you're getting notifications, aren't you, as and when they're going to spray? Yeah. I mean, I've got to be honest, I'm not sure on the logistics of it. I don't know how accurate it's going to be, if I'm perfectly frank. I'm a little bit sceptical.
It'll only be it'll only be as accurate as the beekeepers that actually register, or the beekeepers that are perhaps on BeeBase. I don't know if it would be automatic there, and also the farmers wanting to actually take part. So
actually, that's my problem, because I think there'll be a genuine, and I wholeheartedly encourage beekeepers to get involved in it, because the more we can obviously plot where, or obviously there's a lot of people who've got a bit of a problem in terms of plotting exactly where their beehives are, but in the understanding where they are, then hopefully we can start helping it. But I've just got a big skepticism around farmers wanting to plot when they are spraying, because I think that's going to open up a lot of challenges there. I don't think they're going to. I mean, what's the incentive for them to do it?
Yeah, well, I think some of them will and some of them won't. I think it's pretty much the same as beekeepers. Some beekeepers will register on BeeBase and be happy to have seasonal or regional bee inspectors come around. But
it's the right mentality, isn't it? That's the whole thing. It's the right mentality.
Absolutely. It's I can't emphasize enough the fact that people need to go onto BeeBase, because if there is an issue of a foul brood in your area, then you want to know about it, and it's
the only way you're going to find out, isn't it? Let's be brutally honest. I mean, unless it's word of mouth, then you've got the association. You're not going to find it any other way.
No, that's right.
So, wholeheartedly. I mean,
very important.
That's why I'm a bit confused. It have to come through Bee Connected. Why shouldn't it come through BeeBase, where they've already got a plotted overview of locations? That's what I'm surprised about.
Yeah, it is a bit strange that that they can't use that BeeBase information, whether it's data protection.
Could it be a data protection?
Yeah, that's.
But even then, surely for the greater good. I mean, they're surely only asking permission. I don't know. I'm a bit sceptical of all of it. I mean, I love the mentality of it. I think it's absolutely bang on. And this is a very much a personal opinion more than anything else. But I don't understand why they couldn't have just piggybacked off of other data sources to provide the footfall, if that's what I call it, for that. So anyway. It's surprised them, but certainly beeconnected.com, isn't it?
beeconnected.org.uk. So it's useful for someone to go and have a look and see what it is, and see if they think it might be relevant for them.
I've put that actually. It's up on the Facebook page and also on.
It's gone out on the newsletter to all subscribers as well. So that's where I saw it, because the newsletter's just gone out about the October edition of the magazine. So it was on there. I saw earlier on today. So. Okay,
right.
Just one other thing then, that is something that is new. It hasn't actually come out yet, but there is going to be, the Northern Bee Books are going to be producing a new quarterly journal, and it's called Natural Bee Husbandry.
Interesting. Okay.
An international journal for bee-centered beekeeping. They've got international comments. The first issue is going to be published in October, available in print or digital download. So I just thought I'd mention that because, you know, a lot of people are quite interested on the natural bee side of things.
Absolutely. That reminds me, I mean, maybe that's something we should do for sort of the next couple of hangouts, because I know for a fact that the last few hangouts we did, I mean, you know, the natural beekeeping was a big draw, because people like sort of the mentality of it. So I think we should definitely focus on that, and
Well,
credit to Northern Bee Books. It's good.
Sorry, that was a moth, and I caught it twice. Yes, I mean, perhaps. Sorry, I haven't gone totally spare. Feel like it actually, but never mind. Yeah, so I mean, maybe that's something that would be worthwhile holding in October or November. Perhaps seeing if we could get Phil Chandler on, because Phil's actually done an article for the natural bee husbandry. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, great. Well, we had him on last time, and he was very good, very good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed his talk, so it was great. And you know, some may question his points of view, but actually, I found that on the natural beekeeping side, he actually, you know, he's a very thought-provoking chap who some may agree with, some may not, but you know, he puts across in my view, a sensible argument, not an opinionated one, a sensible one, which I think most people just need to register. You know, whether they agree with it or not, there is an alternative. But no, we definitely need to look at that, I think, and perhaps question it. But sort of based on that, certainly we've got a new exciting book coming out, which is obviously the book on heather honey, which is open for sort of pre-release now. We're looking to have Michael Badger, MBE, who was the author of that book, who will most likely be on our hangout next month and talking about everything to do with heather honey. I mean, it's a very, very comprehensive book which has sort of come through. So that's available, as I said, now for pre-order through our website. So sort of look forward to that next month. And we'll try and line up those sort of that Q&A with some more sort of questions and answers from everybody. Let me just double check if there's been anything coming in. No. Nothing coming in. So I think on that note, Wendy, should we finish that there and just sort of say see you next week, see you next month?
Yep, that's fine. See you next month, and don't forget to get yourselves sorted for the National Honey Show. If you're planning to enter, then get your entries sorted. And
are you entering?
Am I going to enter? No, I have. Excuse me, I did in the past, and I have won a first. And a third and a third. I've won a first and 2/3. Oh, and I'm on a.
Very good.
Did we get highly commended? No, I think we got a second for our mead the first year we did it.
Just rest on the first. That's great. Well, that's an achievement itself.
I won't tell you what it was for. There's lots of different sections. But, yeah.
Pretend it's for honey. Pretend it's for honey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to.
Can I just say our bee kids? Pam is going to be there for the full 3 days of the National Honey Show, alongside the Bee Craft stand, but with everything for bee kids. There's quite an emphasis on children this year. Dr. Sarah Robb is doing a session for children. Nobody over 14 is allowed. I think it's over 14.
What? Hang on, mental age or physical age?
Well, questionable. When you're talking about bee, it's very questionable. Anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
I just thought I'd mention that now. It's just a bit of forethought, that's all. Okay.
Lovely. We're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you all next month. And happy beekeeping. And it's nearly time to have the toast. Put your feet up and enjoy it. So yeah, till next month. See you, everyone. Thanks, Wendy.
Bye. Okay.